In this video, I'm going to share 10 tips and tricks I wish I knew before I started playing Diablo 4. Before we start, a disclaimer, or tip number 0 though. There's no correct way to play, and I'm not saying that these tips are the way to go. Play in a way that is most fun to you. With that being said, let's hop straight in. Number 1. World Tier 1 or 2. One of the first decisions you have to make in Diablo 4 is choosing between World Tier 1 or 2. It's completely up to you what you want to choose, but it's important to note that World Tier 1 or 2 do not impact item drops at all. The only differences are 20% gold and XP gain. So if you're out for the most efficient way to level, I suggest that you start with World Tier 1 if you can kill monsters at least 20% faster than in World Tier 2. You will notice it mostly when you fight elites and bosses. You can also start off with 1 and switch to 2 later on once you get your build running. Gold is not really an issue and you won't notice a difference here. Number 2. Selling or dismantling. Speaking of gold, what should you do with the items you don't need? I suggest that you initially dismantle everything at the smith rather than selling it. You won't need much gold early on since respecking is free for the first levels and it gets gradually more expensive later on. When you dismantle items, you will get valuable materials that will be used later on for imprinting legendaries and upgrading gear. And on top of that, you only unlock transmogs when you dismantle an item. Selling it won't work sadly. This also applies to legendary and unique outfits. You can sell your items later on if you need gold or when you have tons of materials already. Number 3. Advanced item tooltip. How do you even know if an item is good or bad? Obviously, you look at the stats and compare them with your current item. But the default settings in the game are rather simple and don't show all the important information you need. Go to your settings and click on the gameplay tab. Then enable Advanced Tooltip Compare and Advanced Tooltip Information. When you now hold your Alt key to compare an item, it will not only show the difference of the armor value, but also show other stats that you would gain or lose. This setting is an absolute must in my opinion, so make sure to enable it. Number 4. Gathering materials. While traveling across the huge world of Sanctuary, you will see lots of ore nodes and plants. Sometimes they are hard to see because they only show a text when you mouse over them. Make sure to at least collect all the herbs you see on the way because you will need them for some important crafts later on. Ores are not that important because you get them by dismantling items too. Flowers on the other hand can only be found outside, so I suggest getting them all if it's not too much of a time waste. Number 5. Upgrading potions. Don't be like me and run around with underleveled potions. Really, just don't. You can upgrade your potions every 10 levels in the early game. Visit the alchemist in one of the bigger cities and bring some materials with you. You will definitely feel the higher healing amount once you upgrade them. There will also be a little arrow next to your potion symbol when a new upgrade is ready. Number 6. Elixiers. Early on you will loot some elixiers which you can find in your bags under the tab consumables. They have many different effects which increase your player power, but they have one thing in common. They all provide a flat 5% experience bonus and last 30 minutes. You can also craft these elixirs at the local alchemist that already upgraded your health potions. That's where the herbs come in play that we gathered before. Just craft the cheapest elixir and always have one running while you slay monsters. It's basically free 5% more experience. Number 7. Legendary powers. One of the big new features of Diablo 4 is the ability to extract and imprint legendary powers. If you find a legendary with a good power but bad stats or in a wrong item slot, you can simply extract it at the occultist in the bigger towns. There you will also be able to imprint that extracted power on a new item. There are 2 ways of imprinting. Either you use an extracted power from a previous item or you use it from the codex. The codex powers can be used as often as you like, but the extracted one only has a one-time use. Also keep in mind that you can't extract an already imprinted power again, so be mindful about imprinting a very powerful aspect. Number 8. Imprinting legendary. Did you know that you can imprint powers on existing legendary items too? I didn't know this until much later on and it's really useful. Sometimes you will drop a legendary item with awesome stats but with a bad legendary power. If that happened, I used to dismantle that item. Don't do the same mistake. Just visit the occultist and imprint a better power onto it. Number 9. Imprint weapons. When you imprint powers on a weapon, the power will be 100% stronger. While you're leveling and until early mid-game, this can be a big trap though. If you get a strong power, I suggest that you imprint them on either an amulet, your rings or your gloves. But why, Nino? Isn't the power weaker on these slots? I'm glad you asked. Yes, they're weaker, but your biggest DPS increase in early levels are weapon upgrades. Usually you will find a better weapon every 3 to 5 levels. And what happens with an imprinted power then? It's basically wasted. You could imprint it again on your new weapon of course, but if you do that a few times, you'll waste a ton of gold. Amulets, rings or gloves on the other hand can be used for much longer without really feeling a loss of power during leveling. Number 10. Using jewels. The last thing I wish I knew sooner is that you should use your dropped jewels while leveling. I hoarded them in my stash while running around with empty sockets because I didn't want to waste them. First, the low level jewels are really bad and will be replaced or crafted into better versions pretty fast. And second, you won't lose them if you salvage the item. So if you find an upgrade, just go to the smith, destroy the item, and you will get your jewels back. So don't be a dum-dum like me. That's it. These are my 10 things I wish I knew sooner in Diablo 4. If you have more tips and tricks, please share them in the comments with our beautiful community. And if you enjoy my type of content, please subscribe and hit the bell to instantly see when I release new videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.